What's up guys, this is okram125, and in this video I'm going to show you some tips on how to survive the new community-based game mode Infected. Okay, Infected is a new game mode that's been introduced recently, where there are 18 players and one of them becomes infected at the start of the round, and they pick off the survivors one by one until either the time limit runs out or all the survivors die. Okay, so there are many different weapons that the survivors get to use in different maps. To start off with, we've got the PP90M1 versus the knife. The infected have the knives as usual. The FMG9s, the Striker, the Type 95, which used to be the Barrett and that got replaced, so it's now the Type 95. And also the .44 Magnum using the Juggernauts versus the Strikers, and also the survivors using the MK42 versus Juggernauts. My tip to you immediately to start off with is don't do Juggernaut maps. They're really hard because basically you either die a lot or it's just impossible and it just goes on forever. Pulls out, it's pretty boring. Okay, so let's go. Tip number 1. Always look at the other player at the start of the game. Keep your sights on them. When you start, you will spawn and there'll be a countdown from around 7 seconds. You'll have to look exactly have your sights on one of them because they may turn into infected and kill you straight away. So make sure you always have your sights on them. Okay, so now tip number 2. You got to choose either to camp or to run. Okay, so let's go for camping. Firstly, find a spot. If you're going solo, probably find a corner or a building with no more than 2 entrances and claymore one of the entrances. If you are in a pair, I'd suggest doing the same thing. If you're in a party, I suggest no more than 5 people because otherwise it'll get too crowded and you'll get overrun really quickly. And you'll probably find somewhere with around 3 entrances or so, a slightly bigger area, maybe in an open space. And don't go anywhere too crowded. If it's too crowded, you'll get overrun really quickly as all the infected know where you are. It's better to stay somewhere in a corner by yourself. Also, you get a lot less kills. Okay, so remember guys to stay quiet. If you are by yourself and camping, you need to stay quiet. Do not fire at the infected. If you see them running past, just leave them, because unless they're coming straight at you, do not fire, otherwise you'll just attract unnecessary attention. When you're camping, you must also remember to keep moving around. It's very important because the infected will have throwing knives which they'll be lobbing at you throughout the whole game. So make sure you don't get caught by someone lining their sights up on you. So just keep moving around. Also, look out, keep your ears open for your claymore because you will hear a distinct pow sound when it goes off. And sometimes the infected run right past it, and it will give you some couple of seconds warning so you can turn around and maybe shoot them. Okay, so now tips for running. If you choose running, it's slightly more braver mode. You probably will get more kills, but you more likely to die. Tips are: you got to be vigilant. You got to be vigilant. Look before turning corners. Check behind you. Check in front of you. And unless you're using the Striker, keep your distance. Okay, so tip number 3: ammo. Conserving it. To be honest with you, you don't really have a problem with ammo unless you are using the FMG9s or the .44 Magnums. They are the ones that run out really quickly, but anyway, have no fear, you have Scavenger and you can just walk over the dead infected bodies to claim more ammo. Tip number 4: have your sensitivity on medium. So I suggest using it around 4 to 6 sensitivity. You have really quick reactions, so you don't get take 5 minutes to turn around, which is pretty important. Okay, tip number 5: game chat. It's not a major tip, this one, but I suggest you do actually have your mic plugged in and are listening into the game chat, because you can listen to what other people are saying, learn about where the whereabouts of the other infected are, and so yeah, it's pretty useful. Tip number 6, one of the most important tips: use the minimap. It is one of the most important things in this mode, because when you start off, the first infected always has a gun. You need to remember this. The first infected always has a gun to kill the first person with, so be careful. And it will show up on your mini-map like a little red dot where they shoot, and you can see where they are. Just make sure you use it. You can see where your teammates are, and if just so you can see where they're dying and everything, so stay away from those areas. Tip number 7. Don't panic. You will eventually get overrun. It's pretty much guaranteed. They will be coming at you. Just don't panic. Don't scream down the mic, because that will scare your friends as you go "Ah!" as they keep running at you. Just try to stay calm. If you see too many of them, just run away. Try and get as many kills as you can, and maybe even get your MOAB or MOAB. Okay, so now for the advantages of this game mode. It has most of these things are advantages for this game mode, to be honest. It improves your reactions considerably. You can move around pretty fast. It's a fun game mode. It really is. Play with your friends. Gets your weapon levels up a lot. My PP90M1 was level 1, and I played Infected, I don't know, for about 20 levels of my normal level, and my PP90M1 has gone up by 17 weapon levels, which is pretty good. Also unlocks a lot of call signs and emblems, and gets you loads of challenges which you never thought you actually get. It's pretty easy, and it levels you up. You get loads of XP, and you literally always win, because either you're infected and you kill all the survivors, and that's a win, or you just survive as the survivors and you win. You can only lose if you don't kill all the survivors if you're infected, but that's very unlikely. Only disadvantage is that you may get too complacent when playing in other game modes, because you wouldn't be expecting them to fire guns back at you. It would just be nice. So that's about it. So I hope you found this useful. These are just tips, remember, this isn't a guide you have to follow. Just tips that you can use in the game mode so you can remember, think about it, and hopefully you have found it very useful. And if you do, please remember to rate, comment and subscribe, and thank you very much for listening. This is okram125. Bye. In case you're new to my channel, here are some of my previous videos. I have got my Modern Warfare 3 commentary series, where I just basically talk about random stuff. I take questions from you guys, so if you want to click on the link on that. And I also am doing the Skyrim noob series, where I'm a noob at Skyrim, and I'm pretty crazy on there. So yeah, if you guys want to click on that if you're interested in that type of stuff. I also do Minecraft, but I haven't done much on that recently. So if you want to check them out, just click on the link, and I'll see you in another video.